Hey everyone, this is Brett Hancock, and I am just sitting here doing some reading, and I started to actually record this just on my own little audio recorder so I can like play back and just listen to it while I'm relaxing. And I say, you know what, since I'm going to actually narrate this section of the Diatesseron, this is the Diatesseron. Now, what does that word mean? Tessera in Koine Greek means four, right? So Diatesseron is basically according to the four, in other words, according to the four Gospels. So I'm going to read this section. And again, the Diatessaron I've talked about in other videos is basically where Tatian in about around 160 AD is what they dated as. Um, Basically pulled the four Gospels and kind of from what he'd been taught, which is only 60 years removed from when the last apostle died, which is John, around 100. And so, I mean, from what had been taught and stuff, and as he understood the chronology and stuff, he basically pulled them all together and laid them out chronologically. So he basically kind of interleaved or conflated these gospels together. And so it's nice. I want to read this section here that has to do, it starts out with the Sermon on the Mount. And of course, it's going to pull from the Sermon on the Plain, the Sermon on the Mount, the various teachings, and kind of, just meld them together. So, like I said, I started to just read this and record it myself. And well, let me just crank the video up and do this. So this is starting from section 8 of the Diatessaron, and basically I'll start here a little further down, basically where it just starts before the Sermon on the Mount. So. And when Jesus saw the multitudes, he went up to the mountain, and he called his disciples and chose from them 12, and they are those that he named apostles: Simon, who he named Cephas, Andrew his brother, James, John, and Philip, and Simon, which was called the Zealot, and Judas the son of James, and Judas Iscariot, being he that would betray him. And Jesus went down with them and stood in the plain, and being that he had, And Jesus went down with them and stood in the plain, in the company of his disciples, and a great multitude of people. And these 12 he chose to be with him, that he might send them to preach, and to have power, and to heal the sick, and cast out devils. Then he lifted up his eyes unto them, and opened his mouth, and taught them, and said, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Blessed are the sorrowful, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the humble, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they that hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for on them shall be mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. Blessed are they that are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and separate you from them, and persecute you, and reproach you, and shall speak against you with evil talk for my sake, Jesus said falsely. Then rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets that were before you. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. Woe unto you that are satisfied, for you shall go hungry. Woe unto you that laugh now, for you shall weep, and shall mourn and be sad. Woe unto you when men praise you, and so did their fathers they used to do to the false prophets. But unto you I say that hear me, ye are the salt of the earth. And then the salt became tasteless. If the salt becomes tasteless, how shall it then be salted? For any purpose it is of no use, and only to be thrown outside, and men trample upon it or tread upon it. Ye are the light of the world. It is impossible that a city built on a mountain should be hidden. Neither do they light a lamp and place it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and gives light to all that are in the house. So shall you let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works, and then glorify your Father who is in heaven. There is nothing secret that shall be revealed, or hidden that shall not be made known. Whoever has ears, let him hear. Think not that I came to destroy the law and the prophets. I came not to destroy, but to complete them, to bring them fulfillment, to bring them completion. Verily I say unto you, until heaven and earth shall pass away, there shall not pass one point or one letter of the law, until all has been accomplished. Everyone who shall violate now one of the small commandments, and shall teach men to do this as well, shall be called lacking in the kingdom of heaven. Everyone that shall do and teach them shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. But I say unto you, unless your righteousness abounds and increases more than that of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall not enter the kingdom of heaven. Ye have heard that it was said to the ancients, to those of old, do not kill, and everyone that kills is worthy of judgment. But I say unto you, that everyone who is angry with his brother without a cause is worthy of the judgment, and everyone that saith to his brother, you fool, is condemned by the synagogue, and whoever saith to him, thou fool, thou fool, is worthy of the fire of Gehenna. Let me back up. Actually, I should have said, thou foul one, is the way they had it, in the Diatesseron. Again, I probably should have mentioned that I think this was translated from Syriac into Arabic, and the Arabic into English. I think is where we got it. So anyway, so it says whoever saith unto him, thou foul one, is condemned by the synagogue, and whoever saith to him, thou fool, is worthy of the fire of Gehenna. That was lake of fire. If thou art now offering the gift on the altar, and remember there that you have your brother, that thy brother hath conceived against thee any kind of grudge, something against you, leave your gift at the altar, and go first and satisfy your brother, and then return and offer your gift. Join or come together with your adversary quickly, while thou still with him and a long way off, and give a ransom, and free thyself from him. Test quickly, let's see, join thy adversary quickly, and while you are still a long way off, give a ransom and free thyself from him. Test thine adversary, and deliver thee to the judge. Test thine adversary, and deliver thee from the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the tax collector, and thou fall into prison. And verily I say unto you, thou shalt not go out thence until that you pay the last farthing. Ye have heard that it was said, do not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that everyone that looks upon a woman, lusting after her, hath forthwith already committed adultery with her in his heart. And if your right eye injure you, put it out, pluck it out, cast it from you. For it is preferable for you that one of your members shall perish, and not that your whole body goes into the fire of hell. And if thy right hand injure thee, cut it off, and cast it from you. It is better for thee that one of your members should perish, and not that your whole body fall into Gehenna. It was said that he that putteth away his wife should give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you, that everyone that put away his wife, except for the cause of adultery, hath made it lawful for her to commit adultery. And whoever taketh one that is put away committeth adultery. Ye have heard that it was said, ye have heard also that it was said unto the ancients, or those of old, don't tell a lie, but perform unto God, your oaths that you've made. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by earth, for it is a footstool under his feet, nor yet by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. Neither shall you swear by your head, for thou canst not make it one lock of hair black or white. But your word shall be either yea or nay, and whatever goes beyond this, in excess of this, is from the evil one. Ye have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, stand not in opposition to evil, and whoever smiteth thee on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. And he that would sue thee, take away your tunic, give it to him as well. Leave it to him also thy wrapper, give it to him as well. And whoever compelleth you to go one mite, go with him twain, go with him two. And he that ask thee, give unto him, and he that would borrow from you, prevent him not, and prosecute him not. Don't prosecute him that taketh any substance from you. And as ye desire that men should do to you, do also unto them. Ye that have heard that it was said of old, love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy. Love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy. But I say unto you, Jesus says, love your enemy, pray for those who curse you, and deal well with those who hate you, and pray for those who take you with violence and persecute you, that ye may be sons of your heavenly Father, who maketh his sun to rise on the good and the evil, sendeth down rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. And if ye love them that love you, what reward do you have? The publicans and the sinners also love those who love them. And if ye do a kindness to those who treat you well, where is your superiority? For even sinners do this. They do likewise. And if ye lend to him who of whom ye hope for a reward to get something back from him, or hope for a reward, where is your superiority? For even the sinners also lend to sinners, seeking to get some sort of payback or recompense from them. But love your enemies, and do good to them, and lend, and don't cut off the hope of any man, that your reward may be great, and ye may be children of the highest and most high, who is in heaven. And he is lenient towards the wicked and the ungrateful. Be ye merciful, even as your Father is also merciful. And if ye inquire for the good of your brethren only, what more have ye done than these others? Is not this the conduct of the publicans also? Be ye now perfect, even as your heavenly Father, which is in heaven, is perfect. Consider your alms, and do them not before men, to let them see you. And if be not so, ye have no reward before your Father who is in heaven. So when you give us alms, when you give to the poor, do not sound a trumpet before men, as do the people of hypocrisy in the synagogues and the marketplaces, that men may as a consequence praise them. Verily I say unto you, they have received their reward already. But now, when you do your almsgiving, let not your left hand know what your right hand is doing, that your alms may be concealed, and that the Father which sees in secret shall reward you openly. And whenever you pray, be not as the hypocrites, who love to stand in the synagogues and on the street corners of the marketplaces for prayers, that men may behold them. Verily I say unto you, they have received their reward. But thou, when thou prayest, enter in your closet, and fasten, and close the door, lock the door. Pray to your Father in heaven, who is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward you openly. And whenever you pray, don't babble, as the heathen do, for they think that by the abundance of the words they shall be heard. Then be ye not like unto them, for your Father knows what your request would be before you even ask it. One of his disciples said unto him, Our Lord, teach us to pray, as John taught his disciples. Jesus said unto them, Thus now pray like this: Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so also on earth. Give us this day our food, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And bring us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. If you forgive men their wrongdoing, your Father in heaven will forgive you. But if you don't forgive men, your heavenly Father, neither will your Father in heaven pardon your wrongdoing. You know, it's something people really ignore with their explanation of the gospel. Like, you can totally ignore all this. And Jesus is really clear. Matthew 18 says the same thing, that God will reinstate your debt if he forgave you, if you don't forgive everyone. So I'm going to continue. When you fast, do not frown as the hypocrites do, for they make their faces austere, that they may be seen of men that they are fasting. Verily I say unto you, they have received their reward already. But when you fast, wash your face, anoint your head, that thou may make not an appearance unto men that you're fasting, but to your Father which is in secret, and your Father who is in secret shall reward you. Be not agitated, little flock, for your Father hath delight to give you the kingdom. Sell your possessions, and give alms. Take to yourself purses that wax not old. Lay not up treasures on earth, where moth and worm destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up your treasures in heaven. That's where we're to lay up our treasures, where moth and worm do not corrupt, nor thieves don't break in and steal. For where your treasure is, where you spend your money, there also will be your heart. The lamp of the body is the eye. If then thine eye now be sound, the whole body also is full of light. But if her eye be evil, and thy body shall be dark, all your body will be dark. And if the light which is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? Be watchful that the light which is in you be not darkness. Because, in other words, be careful that the light is not darkness. Because if thy whole body is light, and they don't have any part dark, it shall all be light, as the lamp giveth light to thee with its flame. I think we should really pay attention to what he just said there. Okay, no man can serve two masters, and that because it is necessary that ye hate one and love the other, and honor one and despise the other, ye cannot serve God and possessions. And because of this I say unto you, be not anxious for yourselves, what you shall eat and what you shall drink, neither for your bodies, what you shall put on. Is not life better than food, and your body more than clothing? Consider the birds of the heavens, or of the air, of the sky, and sow not, nor reap. They don't sow or reap, nor store in barns, and yet your Father who is in heaven feeds them. Are you not more better or more important than they? Who of you, when he is tried, is able to add to his stature, or when he puts forth effort, is able to add to his stature 1 cubit? And if you are not able even to do this one small thing, why are you anxious about the rest? Consider the wild lily, how it grows, and although it doesn't toil or spin, and I say unto you that Solomon in the greatness of his glory was not clothed like one of the least of these. And if God so clothes the grass of the field like this, in this way, which is today, it's here today, and tomorrow is cast into the fire, cast in the oven, how much more shall God do unto you, O ye of little faith? Be not anxious so as to say, what shall ye eat, or what shall ye drink, or what shall ye be clothed? Neither let your minds be perplexed in this. All these things the nations of the world seek, and your Father which is in heaven knoweth your needs of all these things. Seek ye first the kingdom and his righteousness. Seek his righteousness. His idea of righteousness is what we should be practicing, which is what is taught here, right? That's what Jesus is saying. Not our idea of righteousness, but what Jesus teaches us to do. That's seeking his righteousness. And all these shall come unto you as something additional for you. Shall come to you as something additional for you. Be not anxious for tomorrow shall be as anxious for itself, what belongs to it. Sufficient unto the day is its evil. In other words, there's enough evil, enough bad for one day at a time, right? Anyway, I could keep going, but I'm going to stop right there. All right, God bless y'all.